go to check out this Oreo ID. Funny that we were just talking about the Nike ID thing. But I go check out this Oreo ID, all excited, especially, I've seen the Post Malone Oreos. I've had lemon Oreos. It's been well documented, the amount of Oreos and flavors I have consumed. So I go to this Oreo ID thinking I'm going to make me a funky, fresh, dope-ass cookie like the likes of which
the website.
So I went to the website, and let me tell you what options you get. First, it starts with the cream. You can do the regular cream, birthday cake. That's it. Those are your two options. You don't even get to choose a cookie. You get to choose whether or not you want white chocolate fudge or chocolate fudge doused over your entire cookie. And then you get to choose a sprinkle color. That was it.
Did you notice I'm rocking a new fit tonight? The LA Dodgers cap. What's good with the LA Dodgers?
Yeah,
you know
I saw that. We were going to get into that. You are officially the most bandwagon fan, I think, in the history of Crew Talk Sports, bro. Granted, it's not a lot of people, but a lot of people think less of you for that.
Well, the Rockies can only be so bad, historically, to push me to this point where I'm wearing an LA Dodgers hat right now. Why, Dom? Because fuck the Rockies, that's why.
To be joined by Sir George. He normally comes out of the black hole. Oh, there he is. Sir George. He is
it's
back.
You play football. What's up? You know,
Well, I just want to say,
Hey,
you
hey.
are...
Hey, Jerry. Hey, Jerry. I just saw Jerry joke. Hey, Jerry. You said, well, this ain't your number one. You're number one, Jerry. Number one.
Sir George, how you been, man? It's been a couple weeks.
Oh, bloody hell. I've been... You know, there's a lot of shit going on with the royal family. I didn't take my Viagra and my hat keeps falling off of here.
Well, but you guys got to celebrate King Charles's birthday.
She is an old bloody mother person. Let me just put it like that, because
Did you see anything like exciting at the birthday celebration?
I think I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happened to where like they let Schwarber be a free agent and then Harper's your DH. But here's the thing. What if Harper does win a Gold Glove at first base? How could you justify moving Harper then to a DH? Or you just move Hoskins to DH?
Or you could just
where he
DH
should
Hoskins.
You moved Hoskins to DH, and then for outfield, well, you'll have Juan Soto. You'll have Soto by then.
All right.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Dude, you said, why don't you just bring up Trout again like you do every episode? If I could get you through a screen, I would. Swear to God, every episode. Maybe it was you that put me in the angry mode that I wanted to trade before I even had him.
Here's a good one I want to throw at you since we're talking about the point guards. Who had the better season? And they both had MVP seasons. SGA or Derrick Rose. His MVP season versus SGA's. Who would be better in your opinion? I'm just curious. I don't know there's a wrong answer. I'm just curious who had the better MVP season.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if the Hawkaholics are I don't know if Brandon and Brad are watching this, but this is no knock to SGA. Derrick Rose was a problem. Derrick Rose was a problem in Chicago. I think Derrick Rose was on pace to be a top 2 point guard of all time. So I'm going to say Derrick Rose.
What is up, everybody?
What's up? What's up?
Hey, I also said, Casey, when you hopped on, I thought you had a blue do-rag on your head. I'm not kidding.
I did too. I thought you were coming in hot.
I thought you had like you were bringing out a new character tonight or something right on the spot.
No new character tonight.
Well, we appreciate everyone being able to hop in and hang out with us tonight. And over here on the Tire Sports Network, we have almost the whole crew here. Evan, one of the newbies, appreciate you for joining us, man.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. I'm excited about it. That part about the Rockies in the intro makes me so happy. Like, as a fellow Coloradan, I already decided at the beginning of this baseball season that by the end of the year, that if the Rockies were just like the worst thing I've ever seen, which we're on track, I was going to be a Dodger fan too. So it works out.
Oh, there you go. You'd be a Laker and a Dodger fan, huh?
Mm-hmm. Good luck.
Well,
oh yeah, Dustin, you may need to change that background after last night.
I do.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was
When I woke up and saw that, or when I saw that yesterday afternoon, I was like, "What happened?" I mean, the last two games, Dallas has looked kind of how they looked in the first series against Colorado. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
They gave all their energy in game one when they had to come back and win in the third.
Hey, so the old man was saying, hey, he was worried about Vegas, right? He was worried about the Golden Knights. I wasn't worried about Vegas. I was worried about Connor fucking McDavid. That's what I was worried about. and Draisaitl, because they beat us last year.
Yeah, but it's really not McDavid this time. It is Skinner, their goalie, and their goalie is just ridiculous this time. And that's what I said, is if you can be a hot team, which Dallas coming into this was a hot team, but if you come up against a goalie who is on, it doesn't matter.
Hey,
and Skinner has just stayed on point this whole series.
Hey, am I going crazy? But Sean, y'all got 3 people on y'all show?
Yeah, we got a new guy, Ryan. He was on once or twice before, and he coaches baseball and stuff, so he hasn't been able to make it a lot, but that's almost over, so he's going to be coming back.
Okay, I was all like, I got 3 of y'all? Like, I didn't even
I guess we're waiting on to see if Scott's going to show up in his bed again with the
Scott's not coming. He's already called in sick tonight.
Yeah, I have somebody go over and check on Scott sometimes and make sure he's not going to come on if he's in a mode or not. But he's got to get up at like 3:30.
I don't know what Dustin and Derek have planned, but EB, man, what you think of the network and the show so far? I know it's been short-lived, but welcome first off in person, and what you think about everything.
Hey man, so far so good for where I'm sitting, man. Like it's been really cool just in what it's been like a week's time. Like all the work that we put into even just putting that intro together, or to like just I don't know, just feels good, man. Like I feel like it was a good move, and it's gonna I'm just excited to see what happens going forward. It was nice to get actually back on the show talking sports last night, but I'm feeling good. I know my brother's excited too, but it's been nice.
Yeah, me and Evan, we worked Friday night on that intro. He had a vision. Well, I gave him something, and I could see it in his eyes. He was like, "Nah." He didn't want to say it, but I felt it. He's like, "Nah." He gave me his vision, and we put it together, and so it worked out good. I mean, it's awesome to have everybody.
Yeah, let's hop into the main thing for tonight. What do y'all think about the Wolves and the Thunder? Where is this series going? What do y'all see happening tonight? And what needs to happen for both teams to kind of pull it off tonight?
Derek, all fucking business.
Straight to business.
It's been an interesting series so far, considering the fact that it seems like each game has been incredibly one-sided. I mean, especially the Timberwolves last game. I mean,
I did not see last game coming. I will say that
game was over quick.
Yeah,
that was just over. No, I mean, it's been good, but like I said, I mean, it's just each game is, the Thunder won by 20, 30 first game.
Yeah.
And then like the Thunder came won by 15, something like that. It's just like it's not close games by the end of it. And then, like I said, last night that game was just over. That was done by the third.
Do you think SGA's free throws have anything to do with it? I know everybody harps on that he gets a crap ton of free throws, and if he's not getting his free throws, he's not producing.
I don't think the last game the free throws didn't matter. That was the lowest points you've scored in a game in over a year.
Yeah.
What that speaks of 143 to 101.
Yes, they lost 42.
143 points in a playoff game.
Yes,
this is why the NBA sucks. I'm just going. That's part of it.
They threw everything at SGA. They even had Randall guarding him at times, which was crazy.
Yes.
I think that Timberwolf crowd kind of got to him too. Like, and free throws make a difference when you're used to getting to the line, 10, 12 times a game, and you only get there 4. And that noise every time he touched the ball in game 3 was loud. I think that he won't admit it. I think that kind of showed a little bit because that was intense. But it's going as expected. You see right now, even the Thunder are up like 7, and that's without SGA really getting going yet. They got Jalen Williams going a little bit already though. But I mean, I had Thunder in 6, so it's going as expected. That game 3, I didn't expect a 40-point beatdown like that, but it's the toughest game to win when you're already up 2-0 heading into somebody's house.
That's a fact. I think that's the one game the Timberwolves are going to win. They're down, I think, 37-30 right now at the end of the first quarter. So they gave up almost 40 in the first quarter tonight. I think it's going to be OKC in 5. And, I just think they're a better team. I'm not a fan. SGA is the MVP, obviously. He won it, but I'm not a fan of his game like I wasn't necessarily a fan of Harden's game, like a lot of searching for stuff. And SGA has perfected it, in the flopping realm. I just don't respect the player that flops to make his game better. And that's just a personal basketball opinion of me. I saw that video of damn 11-year-olds flopping in an AAU game.
Yes.
Facebook, some of that BS going on.
So for me, I think it's all about Julius Randle. I think Ant's going to get his. I think SGA is going to. He had a slump. I think he's going to come out and get his. I think Julius Randle has to show up tonight for them to even the series. I think game 2, I think he had 20 at halftime and ended up with 28. So he just completely disappeared in the second half. And it was close up until halftime. And after halftime, he was really a non-factor. Rudy Gobert is going to have to do something other than 2 points. I think that's what he had in game 2. He had 2 points. 2 points and like 4 rebounds.
The fact that you're talking, they got to rely on Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert.
Yeah,
exactly why they're going to lose in 5. That's all.
I agree. I mean, I picked the Thunder to win this. I think in 6. I don't remember what I picked them in. But I've said this before. They gave up the farm for Rudy Gobert, and I'm not giving up the farm for somebody who can't play in the fourth quarter because they can't shoot free throws. They can't guard a stretch 4 or a stretch 5 out on the perimeter. He is a rim protector, and that's it. And the game is gone away from what he did at. And I mean, that's just that's just facts. And I can't believe. And I told this to Dustin on our last show Wednesday night. Anthony Edwards is going to have to figure out how to get some help in Minnesota. Or Minnesota's going to have to figure out how to get Ant some help. Or Anthony Edwards is going to be gone. He's going to get out of there. He's not going to... As of right now, as it sits, Anthony Edwards is on pace to be Damian Lillard in Portland. Have the talent, but for some reason they cannot build anything around him.
Well, it's Minnesota, boys.
Well, yeah.
When have they ever? I mean, they had a generational talent in Kevin Garnett. Didn't do anything.
Well, they had Garnett. They had Wally Zerbiak. They had Sam Cassell. I'm not saying they're great.
Here's where look. I'm gonna hit the rewind button. They had Kevin Garnett and Stephon Marbury, and then they had Stephon Marbury.
That's right.
Marbury, and tried to fill the gap with maybe was it Terrell Brandon? I think it was.
Maybe, yeah.
But you had 2 stars. Whatever you want to think about Starbury, all right? The man could put the ball in the bucket.
He was a solid player. Absolutely.
I mean, Minnesota, I think, too, and this comes back to, like, we were talking on Wednesday, is like, how is Rob Dillingham getting no play time? I know he's a rookie, but, like, he's your future point guard, and he's getting no minutes. You're just relying 100% on Mike Conley and Ant to run the point, in a sense, depending on who's in. Rob Dillingham was technically drafted to San Antonio, then sent off to Minnesota. And I liked him at the time, not realizing we were getting Castle. And Dave, Mike Conley isn't the answer for them at point guard. Not saying Mike Conley, I mean, in his prime, he was really good. I mean, look what he did in Memphis, right? But I just don't understand how you don't play Rob Dillingham and give him some playing time. I mean, all your scoring is coming with Ant and then sometimes McDaniels. That's about it. That's all you're getting. And they don't have enough scoring to keep up with OKC, and that's why I picked them to win. And Julius Randle as well. But I mean, I'm just saying them two can't do it alone. Not against OKC. This isn't the Lakers. This isn't who they. I don't even know who they are. They just ain't the Warriors. Like they've got to get him scoring help in the future, or I think he's out as well. And that's the reason I picked him in 5.
I think Ant is. I think it's two-pronged for Anthony Edwards. I think y'all are right. I like Julius Randle as a third option, as the number 2A guy. But Ant's got to mature in his game as well. So he's still somewhat inconsistent as a star guy. In my opinion, what was it? Game 1, I think he went 0 for 9 from deep, something like that. But like you mentioned, Julius Randle having 20 in the first half the other night and then finishing with 28. Well, if he would have had 14 and 14, you wouldn't have said that. So kind of perspective on that. So if he would have 14 in the first half, 14 in the second half, you'd be like, oh, he did help. Your number 2 guy got 28 points. What else you want him to do personally, right? So, but I think Ant's got some maturing to do. He's only 23, I think, 22, 23 years old.
Somewhere there.
Yeah, I mean, he's the league is like salivating at the mouth for him to be the face of the NBA, to kind of be that next guy. We all know LeBron is on the end of his career. I don't think Luka is that guy. You start looking around stars around the league, who's the next guy? Jalen Brunson, great player, but not that guy. You want someone who can get people on the edge of their seat, and Ant is definitely that dude. So
yeah,
I think for me, like you broke down, he had 28, which as a number 2 option, that's awesome. You want your second option to be in that 25 range. 20 to 25 would be great. 14 and 14, yeah, that's still a 28. But to me, having 20 and then 8, it's like you were a non-factor. What did you do to help Ant in that second half? In the first half, you helped him. That's why they were in the game until halftime. But then it's like you disappeared. And I think of the 8, 2 or 3 of them were free throws. I think he had a free throw, a 3, and a 2. So I think he had 3 at the line, a 3-pointer, and a 2-pointer. Other than that, he's a non-factor. So if I'm OKC, I'm not really even looking at him. It's like he's out of the picture, so I can sag back a little bit and play that more help defense on Ant, because Ant didn't play well in the second half either, and that's because he was getting double teamed when he was driving to the paint. But yes, if you look at it at 14 and 14, then yeah, that's like if you have 30 in the first and then 10 in the you had 40, but that 10 in the second half, that's 5 a quarter. That's not very good.
And that goes into a lot of what everybody's saying. That goes into game needing to mature and them needing a point guard. Because if Randall has 20 in the first half, that could be a sign of his aggression in the second half, or them not getting him the rock and letting him work like he was working in the first half, going away from that, letting Ant be ball dominant. When he gets doubled, he doesn't really know what to do with it. So you get a point guard who takes that handling the ball away from Ant a little bit, can keep Randall in the mix, as well as keep Ant going, and he doesn't have to be the playmaker too. That's kind of a sign of all those things.
The old man up in the top corner got anything to add? You quiet up there, Baldy.
There's 2 guys up in the corner that are baldies. Okay,
I was just going to say, I don't know which one you were talking to.
So my thing is about this whole thing is of how it has changed around with what we thought was going to happen. I mean, when you talk about the Thunder and what the Timberwolves did in this last game, the whole year, same thing with the Cavaliers getting knocked out over in the Eastern Conference, is how basketball, just when you think you've got it figured out, all of a sudden something happens. Or it's the end of a game with, 1 or 2 points. Like if you go, and I know we'll probably talk about the Pacers Knicks here in just a minute, but you go back to that first game going into overtime, it's right there for anybody to take. And just like, and it's weird that I use this analogy just like in golf, but in golf you have a bad hole. Well, you have a bad couple of minutes in basketball, and the next thing you know, you've allowed someone to have a 10-point run, and now they're ahead of you by 8, and your time's ticking away. So to me, basketball is a very exciting sport. I'm glad to see that some of it is starting to really get a little bit more interest this year, because I think in the last few years we've just had external factors and things that have affected the game. I do still think there's a lot that needs to be done to try and fix the game, because it's turned into obviously just a bunch of 3-point shooters, and you've got all this flopping going on that we're seeing all around. And unfortunately, I'm seeing memes and seeing videos and things of kids doing this now, just barely bumping into somebody and just flying. Well, Casey could speak to that too, as being a coach. It's the flopping.
Do y'all teach that, Casey? Do y'all teach the flopping?
Listen, if I ever taught a kid to flop, I would punch myself in my own nutsack. Okay, like we had a good point guard a few years ago. Stop trying to call me. Sorry, my pastor for my wedding this weekend was trying to FaceTime me, and I'm like, no, I'm alive on air. No, ultimately is like it filters down, and I had a really great point guard at a couple high schools ago, and it always chapped me that like he would be driving the hole and he'd always try to throw his head back, and I was just like, stop doing that. Like you're taking your focus on what you need to do, and you're trying to sell this, and then when you really need a call, the refs aren't going to give it to you. And the sad part is when you don't have the quote unquote great referees or good referees, they fall for it. And there's even good and bad referees in the NBA, as we all know, is some of them fall for it and they suck. And because they're taught to go with, if you don't have it conclusive, you got to go off of kind of saw and the benefit of the doubt to the opposite player. So it's just sad to see, because it is filtered down. And I can see coaches, because there are some really shit AAU coaches out there that would try to teach this stuff, especially to young kids.
Mm-hmm.
You got that one team, like their job is to like basically embarrass. So like they'll sit there and hump the ball before they shoot it, and
yeah,
I've seen those highlights. I'm not gonna say their names. I don't want to give them any pubs, but yeah, it's just sad to see. I can't stand flopping in the game. I think the best sport that controls it is the NHL. Like you get a penalty for flopping if they even think you were flopping. I think it should be basically an offensive foul if you're determined to be flopping, and you go the other way. So I just it takes away from the game a lot.
Well, guess we'll move over to the east side of the things. Anybody else in complete shock about how this is going in the East?
Not me.
I know Dustin picked it in 6.
I picked the Pacers in 6.
I'm completely shocked on how the Pacers are playing right now.
Guys, we got to remember they were here last year in the same position. I'm not surprised that they've been this good. Maybe against Cleveland. maybe it was a little surprising. But if we look at it, I'm not, because I mean Cleveland was kind of injured, and Indiana just took an advantage of it. So,
well, the thing that I'm going to say is the fact that the Knicks came back. The Knicks came back from 20. What's he got going on? Is that his kid?
Shit going down over at Dustin's place. Get out of my room.
The fact that they were down by 20 points and they came back to win this, it pretty much saved the series. Really the season, because
what's up, John?
If the Pacers went up 3 zip, then that would have been it.
I mean, the Knicks just came back and did exactly what happened to them the first 2 games. So,
yeah, it was a complete meltdown by the Pacers. I think that I'm not going to say that specifically is going to change the series, but I think it gave the Knicks new life. I think it allowed them to know that, hey, we not only can we play with these guys, obviously, because we're in the conference finals, but we battled back from 20 down. So, yeah, me and Dustin talked about this. I think last show or show before last, I completely forgot that they were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. I didn't even think about it. And I think it's because they're the 4 seed. I think we get too stuck on the seeding, or I do. We get too stuck on the seeding and say, oh, well, the Cavs are the 1 seed, the Celtics are the 2 seed, and the Knicks are the 3 seed. Those are the 3 best teams in the East. Well, I went and looked. Had the Pacers won 1 more game, they would have been the 3 seed. So now we're saying, oh, that's the 3 best teams are the Pacers, the Celtics, and the Cavs, and the Knicks are the 4 seed. So the Knicks must not be that good. They were 1 game away.
You know what that says? You need to do a better job as a sports podcaster and put a little more faith in your process. That's what that says, Derek.
Well, I mean, looking at it, I thought those were the 3 best teams in the East. I mean, I thought the Cavs were head and shoulders above everybody.
Yeah, I did too.
Old man picked the Cavs to win it all.
I picked Boston to win it all. I mean, I had Boston winning it all. I had Boston going back to back, and that's with the Cavs being better than anybody in the East.
What'd you have, EB? What'd you have?
I mean, I kind of thought that I was kind of guilty of it with the Cavs and the Celtics, at least. Like, I thought they were head and shoulders above the rest of the conference. But after that, it could have been anybody to me. You look at a healthy Milwaukee with Giannis, and if Dame was able to go, like, they could have played. If they could have played to their potential, it could have been anybody. If it wasn't those top 2, the rest of them were all just in the same grouping to me. So I was more surprised about the Cavs series, even with the injuries, because it was so kind of dominant on the Indiana side. But right now, especially on a team where you have Karl Anthony Towns, I'm not really surprised where a game can go either way.
John, how about those 76ers?
I had the 76ers going all the way, man. You know, just going from dumpster to dumpster. That's all it was. You know what? I know we have Embiid for another 3-4 years. Just sign him to another extension. Just sign each knee to a multi-million-dollar contract. That's perfectly fine.
7 more years and 4 more knee surgeries.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you.
Nice to see Tyrese Maxey win a championship somewhere else while Embiid is still collecting a paycheck from us, playing 40 games a year. Evan brought up a healthy Bucks team.
Hold on, Derek, I don't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
You're good.
John, are you drinking a gallon of milk?
Yeah.
We thought that too, but it's not.
It's not. It's called half and half iced tea. That's all.
Okay.
Little Arnold Palmer. Yeah.
Palmer, pretty much. But it's Wawa. So
I saw the jug and I was all like, "Is this dude chugging chocolate milk on the show?"
That'd have been cool. It'd been worse if it was just half and half. That'd have been wild.
You know? All right, Derek, go ahead, my man.
But what Evan was saying about a healthy Milwaukee team, I don't even necessarily know if it was a healthy Milwaukee team. Milwaukee hurt themselves when they traded Middleton. I thought Middleton was a perfect running mate for Giannis. Kuzma was not the guy.
Middleton couldn't run anymore. He can't be anybody's running mate. Like I don't know if Kuzma was not a good call, but Middleton, it's time for most of that team. Middleton, Brook Lopez, Giannis, include all of it. It's time to do a whole new thing in Milwaukee anyway. But like looking at it, especially at the beginning of the season, when you see Dame and Giannis at the same team in the mix at the very least is what you think you're seeing, especially when they make the playoffs and they're in the mix for it at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I think they should have won at least one more postseason and maybe made the trade in the offseason. But I haven't liked Kuzma. I thought he was overrated. This is just personal. Everybody might like him, but I thought he was overrated in LA. He was definitely overrated in Washington. I don't know. He just doesn't. He's not that number 2 option. Now, yeah, I know they were banking on Dame being there, and Dame ended up getting hurt. But even as a number 3 option, I mean, he was a no factor in those playoffs or in these playoffs.
Claims he changed basketball.
Yes,
didn't do too much. I think obviously injuries played a massive part of last year's run for the Celtics. I believe every series the best player got hurt in the team they were playing. The whole damn Knicks team was hurt last year. I think they were shooting out 7-8 guys. With Tatum going down, with whatever Porzingis is dealing with. I don't like the rumors that I'm hearing what it is. And then obviously the injuries to the Cavs squad, in the beginning of that series affected the series quite a bit. I'm not saying that's why Indiana got through or whatnot, but I think Indiana is just it's just an interesting mix. Like I'm not, Tyrese Halliburton was voted the most overrated player by his peers, right? I don't think you can say that anymore, but there's something about his. Maybe it's because I'm a jump shot purist. I like proper form on the jump shot. Yeah. His shit is ugly as hell. I love Miles Turner. He came through the same school system I went through. He went to Trinity High School, and he still does a lot for that community a little bit, and so. The Pacers are interesting, man. And Siakam, I wanted Dallas to get him when they put him on the trade block years ago. Very interesting squad, but they're playing with house money and they know it. And why not go for it?
Yep, I agree.
And so, a little premature on the choking celebration by Halliburton there, but I love the forethought on it. I love that he was thinking about it. So
that.
Wasn't it you that sent that picture in our group chat that it had 4 players and you were like, isn't it cool that one of these guys is going to be somebody new winning? Do you think that plays into the NBA nowadays? That you're actually now seeing different teams. I know it sucks because the Celtics had injuries and stuff like that. So you're not seeing Milwaukee, you're not seeing Boston, you're not seeing the Lakers, you'll never see the Sixers, but that you're seeing a bunch of different teams now due to all those injuries and stuff like that. But do you think that changes the amount of the amount of people, I don't know, watching? You're seeing better games, it seems like a little bit.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, I'm not a conspiracy theorist where I think it's rigged by any means. Now, could it be? Yes. Do I know it is? No. But I mean that you could easily ask that same thing with Jokic versus SGA. Were they just tired of Jokic winning it, and so they gave it to SGA? And like I said, I think this year would have been the perfect year for a co-MVP because somebody got punished. Jokic got punished for probably the second greatest year as a center of all time. SGA won it with probably the 5th best point guard year of all time. So, I mean, I think it was just voter fatigue.
That's the same thing as when Embiid won the MVP. Everybody Embiid didn't deserve it that year. I think they just didn't win. They didn't want
Jokic.
What's it? Jokic have the 3? It would have been a 3-peat, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he deserved it. But again, but the year prior, Embiid probably deserved it more. than Jokic was the year before. Yeah, but it's just
I don't know how all that works. But it does kind of lead me into my first question that I put into the chat. I'm gonna get you guys' opinion on it, and I think I've already put this in the chat.
We're just to the first question.
Already to the first question.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I mean it's very simple. I mean it's not bad. Does the winner of this year's finals MVP become that team's best player ever?
No.
Say no.
So if SGA wins, he's not better than KD?
No.
Now I'm not saying overall. I'm just saying for the Thunder. They both got an MVP. SGA did it in less years, and he brought him a championship.
It's hard for me to put him over Westbrook even. That man averaged a triple-double for multiple seasons.
Right.
But there's only probably one guy that would have a statue in front of the building. That would probably be SGA if he wins the championship.
That's probably for me. I think that would be the only one because of the
Russ should have a statue in OKC.
Who you think?
You think Russ should have one?
I think Russ should get a statue in OKC for sure.
I think Russ should get one over KD as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like he earned his. Like he stuck around, went through all that hardship. But I was
about to say, Westbrook stuck around. You know, he didn't ask out. He stayed with that team and was like, I mean, he had a couple good seasons by himself.
And championship or not this year for SG, it's just too soon. Like you gotta have a career. You know what I'm saying? Like is Kawhi Leonard the best player in Toronto history?
No.
They say he is, but I don't think he is.
That's a crazy thing to say. Like you're there for 1 year.
I'll say this about statues. I feel like you got to win championships to have a statue. So I'm sorry, Russell Westbrook. I don't think he deserves a statue. That's just me. That's a personal opinion. You have a statue out in front of the building. You should have brought a championship.
But when you don't have any championships, you got to have something to raise morale.
Would it be better? I don't know what to say to that.
But see, I don't think you could. The only two for me that I think it's even possible is I think SGA or I think Ant. I don't think Halliburton can be better than Reggie Miller. I don't see that. I don't see that being the greatest pacer of all time. Because I mean, you still got Jermaine O'Neal that played there, who I thought was phenomenal. Now he isn't one of the top, but I think he's better than Halliburton. And then when you go to the Knicks, I'm sorry, Brunson's good, but I mean, you got Frazier, you've got Patrick Ewing. Yeah, I mean, you John Stark. I mean, there's a
could be at some point, but not this year, regardless of a championship.
Yeah,
go ahead, Dustin.
I agree. I agree out there. Like SGA, I kind of just go like SGA. Yes, if he wins championship, great. But like, I feel like for a team, you have to have a good career to earn that statue with a championship, though. Like if SGA goes and on a tear over the next 5 years, still keeps doing what he's doing, he's won a couple of championships, yeah, he deserves a statue, right? But if you do all this, you can have MVP or whatever, no championship, I don't think you should get a statue. I don't think a statue should just be because of an MVP season or seasons. You got to bring something with it besides just an MVP season. That goes for anybody. I mean, the greatest of the greats, like that's like saying Charles Barkley should get a statue. No, I'm just saying like Charles Barkley was great, but he didn't win anything.
Steve Nash.
So this is SGA's 6th year with Oklahoma City. Kevin Durant spent 9. So we're looking at a 3-year window of a difference between the two. But SGA could bring him a title. That's what I'm saying. He did it, and he did it for me. SGA's done it with less. You think about who KD had: Harden, future MVP; Westbrook, future MVP. I mean, he had 2 future MVP Hall of Famers on his team and couldn't get it done. There's not a Hall of Famer on Oklahoma City's team. I'm sorry.
Wasn't at that level yet.
Right. And neither was Russ, but like you got Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren, who's supposed to be these running mates of them. We don't know what either one of them are going to be for their careers yet either, so that's kind of hard to say. that he's done it with less. And the way they play 11 guys, that they could all play somewhere else, like it's hard to say that he's done with less.
I think when it's all said and done, SGA, if he stays there his whole career, will be the best player in Thunder history, especially if he wins a championship without a doubt. I would agree with that assessment. You know, and because you have the career put in there with a championship ring, so to speak. But to Dustin's point, I agree. An MVP or a good career doesn't necessarily warrant a statue out front. That's kind of the point I was making. You know, the Steve Nash, 2-time MVP. Suns ain't putting out a statue for him. You know, and it's not just based on championship. It's a mix of things, right? What a Hall of Fame career is, what a great career is. You know, you can't just say it's championship rings, because if that's the case, Robert Horry would be considered one of the greatest players of all time. You know, you kind of have a balance of that there. So
I hate to bring this up because it's mine and Derek's team, but look at the Spurs. Tim Duncan don't have a statue. He's one of the best to ever do it.
Well, that's a Spurs problem.
Yeah,
that's a Spurs problem.
I know, but I'm saying like he doesn't have one. I mean,
they should have 4 statues for San Antonio. They should have David Robinson, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, and Tim Duncan.
That's all going to be one statue with Pop.
Pop sitting on the bench. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Probably,
and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, I don't know, but the problem, guys, now is there's not much loyalty either.
Right.
You know, some of these players don't stay long enough to deserve a statue. Like let's go back to Kawhi Leonard. Okay, yeah, he was great in San Antonio. He helped them win that last championship they won in 2014.
Anyway.
No, that's what I'm saying though. He won a championship there. He won 1 year rental in Toronto, won one there. I mean, the loyalty is not there anymore. Like the last one to sort of kind of have a loyalty was Dame, and he held with Portland as long as he could until he realized I was going to do nothing here.
Well, I mean, I think you say Giannis. Giannis has stayed loyal to the Bucks. He's won a championship.
Well, up until this coming up season, he won't be there no more.
I know he's going to be a Maverick. Anyways, no.
Hey, take him. Please don't bring him to San Antonio.
So I think. Well, we all know Nico does dumb shit. I think he's become a thing over to give up Cooper, but I think Giannis will have a statue in Milwaukee, and because of his loyalty, I don't think Dame will have one in Portland. You know, I'm sure they'll put one in Cleveland for LeBron just because he's from that area, even though he said F y'all twice. I mean,
does Dwayne Wade have one in Miami?
Dwayne Wade's got the ugliest statue of all time.
That's not Dwayne Wade.
That's not Dwayne Wade.
We talked about that on the show. Oh my God, his statue is the worst of all time.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm about to find it.
I remember hearing something about it, but
you're gonna see Dustin's face when he sees this, and we're all gonna know he saw it.
It's bad. You could see Dwayne Wade's face when he saw it.
He tried to talk it up and like dab up his kid or something like that.
Yeah, his son was not playing.
Like, Pops, you remember when we saw that?
Yeah.
That was really just to get you involved in the conversation.
Yep.
Oh, I'm about to pull it up here in a second.
People have texted me during those things. Sorry.
This is the absolute ugliest thing I've seen in my entire life.
Told you.
This is like Dwayne Wade should not want to say he's from here because of how ugly this is.
It's the worst.
This is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, and I mean that. This is I'm about to bring it up.
It's disrespectful.
I don't know if I remember. It was okay.
That is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
So bad.
Who is that?
Yes.
I told you.
Look, that looks like a gremlin.
Yeah, that's rough.
And
that's rough.
I can't even say what it's mixed with. I'll be honest.
That looks like AI just couldn't do the job, but they stuck with it anyway.
That's like
the uniform is nice though.
Well, the uniform looks great.
Oh yeah,
but
the detail
neck down, it really does look like Dwayne Wade.
But I mean, the neck up is atrocious.
I know that scene. The scene is where he was on top of the table screaming,
"Yes,
this is my house."
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? But the face on this, I mean, that literally looks like he.
You can't even come up with anything. That's how
can't.
bad it is.
So speaking of Dwayne Wade, did you see the tattoo that Dwayne Wade got?
Yo, that's just kind of
God.
That dude, it's sick.
It's a weird flex.
Yeah, I mean, it's across his chest, and it's his journey from like TJC from Marquette, all the way. It's awesome. I mean, it is legit.
It'd be cooler if his son did it. It's kind of weird that he did it on his own chest, but it'd be dope if his son had that across his.
Oh yeah.
So, Evan, do you think it's a little self-serving, right?
Yeah, like you had a great, but I understand you wanted to celebrate yourself or whatever, but like you had that whole career. You don't need to tat it on your whole body, but like it'd be a cool homage to your father. But that's just me.
I want to ask a question about this statue. So there had to be a mock-up of something before this was all set up.
He saw it before, yeah, for sure.
Why did he approve of that face, of the neck and up?
Maybe it looked better on the mock-up.
It was on his phone or something. He was just like, "Oh yeah, that's fine."
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
it almost seems like, hey, this was going to cost this one. This one's going to cost this. Let's go with this AI version. It's a lot cheaper.
That's on the organization. D Wade didn't have to pay.
No, exactly.
That's on the organization.
That's
Pat Riley didn't care.
I don't think they didn't put that on Riley's desk. He wouldn't let that happen.
Hey, y'all know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of my boy Dion's Hall of Fame bust that looked absolutely horrible. Like, I don't know if y'all remember that when he got his Hall of Fame bust head was awful. I was like, damn.
I got another one for you. You remember the episode of Martin where he fought Tommy Hearns?
And his head was all messed up. Yes.
That's what I think about. At least in like the mouth area, that really reminds me of that D Wade statue.
That is atrocious.
That statue got a jawline for the entire length of the Florida coastline.
Well,
I know it took no time too. Did you guys see the mock-up of the Ben Simmons one if he ever got one?
Oh God, please don't.
Is it for thievery?
Crutches?
What would it even be?
Oh, there.
So it would be the Sixers and then bench for Ben Simmons' whole career. I was like, very nice.
The top one, the D Wade.
Yeah.
So I will say this: Ben Simmons. I've said this before. He's actually in the Guinness Book of World Records for longest workman comp claim. It's going on 7 years now. So he's in the shout out to Ben Simmons for the world record that he holds. That's golf clap
living the dream, man.
Yes. He's living the dream.
Hey, Sean, what did Philly do to that man to absolutely crush him?
Yeah,
to crush him. Oh, if you knew the I don't even know how to put it cleanly.
Because the man went in, he won Rookie of the Year.
Everyone, if there was ever a time that the media in here didn't bash a player religiously, it was Ben Simmons. They tried so hard to, just make us feel better and to really give him everything. And then after a while, like they tried so hard to convince us how good. It didn't matter that he wouldn't shoot the ball or wouldn't score. His defense was so good. It was so good. It was worth drafting him. And then after years and years, it was just like, yeah, you can't lie right to our faces anymore. Like he is awful.
Well, that was the second point guard that y'all did that to. Markelle Fultz came in. Forgot how to dribble. I mean, this dude was like, "What the crap are you doing?"
Well, yeah. Every the process, which everyone loved it. Now they're just like, "Don't ever say it again." But
y'all been processing a long time.
Yeah, and it's just like, just call it a tank. Everyone knew what it was. And then you traded everybody that you got. Like, the only person left is Embiid from that. And again, like, now he can't play back-to-backs. He'll play 40 games a season. And then you wait for the first round of the playoffs to come, and then he'll have a freak injury where I don't know, he'll get flicked in the eye and his face will break or something. And it's so old, dude. It is so tiring to hear. They don't even talk about it that much anymore here.
Did you see Gilly the Kid go at Paul George on his podcast, like talking about how like they're fed up with Paul George's ass already? Like, it was kind of cool seeing Gilly. It was Gilly and his brother, but his brother just sat there and he's like, Allen Iverson was our GOAT because he gave everything he ever had, and y'all just like, what is this? We don't know if our best player is going to show up. You played half the games this year. Like, what are we supposed to do with this? It was kind of cool to see. And Paul George
I've seen a couple trade scenarios where Paul George and the number 3 pick get traded for. I've seen multiple people. I've seen Devin Booker. I've even seen a package for Giannis. Paul George, number 3, and
I saw one that had Maxey and then Halliburton coming here or something, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like,
I saw one that said Embiid to LA.
Bye.
For the Lakers.
There you go. Him and Luka can sit on the bench together.
Yeah, so they can race each other back and forth down the court and see who falls quicker.
I want to get back to Ben Simmons real quick. Is because normally after like a year in the league, you get film, you adjust to the guy, and this wasn't like he won Rookie of the Year and then he just went downhill. After his rookie season, he averaged like 15.8, then 17, and then 16, and then it did go down to 14. But so this was 4 years of sustained, pretty solid play. Like, because he couldn't shoot, he wasn't ever going to be, a 25-point game scorer. You got to get some buckets from the outside. I just thought it was real interesting on how twisted it went with Ben Simmons in Philly. I know the jump shot thing, even the fans were giving him hell, and it became a thing. But, like, to completely, go from that to the most he's averaged in a season since then is 6.9, and that was his first year in Brooklyn where he only played 42 games.
The turning point for Ben Simmons in Philly, I think it was the playoff game where he went for a layup, or he didn't go for the layup. He dished it off. He dished it off.
That was it.
That was they were done with him after that one. I remember that very, very vaguely.
There was nobody around him.
No,
to make the layup.
Nobody,
and it was in a really important part, point in the game. And then he passed it away, and it was just like everybody just had enough because it was just, you want that player that's going to want the ball, that's going to take the shot or anything like that. And everything was just that was leading up to that too. It was just, the injury started piling up. I don't want to say mental, but I mean, his whatever was going on, I don't know if he was depression, anxiety, anything like that. That started to come out and all, and it was just, I think everybody just had enough. And then, everyone thought he was faking injuries and stuff too, which a lot of players do. Like,
a lot of players do.
They milk it and everything like that. He wanted out, and so.
Do y'all think that the 76ers are trying to make him into a player he wouldn't, and that's why he was? Because, like, look at some of the players now that can't shoot. And I'm not even going to go as Giannis. I'm probably leaning towards more like the Zion Williamsons. Doesn't shoot the ball. It's more of a layup, dunker, alley guy. And he's like, obviously he's played with injuries since the day he stepped into the league, but he's still been successful to an extent.
Yeah, look at Giannis.
I mean, yeah, but Giannis is another level. He's way up. I mean, yes, he can't shoot very well, but he will shoot the ball. He's not scared to shoot the ball. That's what I'm saying.
Zion will shoot it too, though. He'll shoot that.
That's what I'm saying. They'll shoot it. But do you think that Ben Simmons came in thinking like, I'm going to be this drive downhill, score on the basket guy, and that's who I am? And they're like, no, we need you to shoot. Do y'all think they were trying to make him to become a player he really wasn't?
It maybe, but it wouldn't have made any sense because I apologize. The coach that we had at the time is just.
Was it Brown?
Yes, Brett Brown was, I don't know, best friends with Ben Simmons' dad. So if anybody, that was one of the main reasons they drafted him, was because it's like, all right, hey, he's going to come here. I'm personally going to take care of your son. He vouched for him. Why would you have somebody who's doing that just to come in and the coach is going to be like, well, now I'm going to have you play a completely different type of ball than what you're used to. But then again, everybody, even going back to where Ben Simmons played before, he wasn't great. I don't think he was worth it.
He wasn't outstanding at LSU. Yeah.
No. And
I think it was the body.
Yeah.
The 6'8", 6'9" point guard.
Yeah. Right. But it was him. He played the same exact way he did. And I think it was because we were fed, this is what he could be. This is what he could be. And I'm like, all right, or everyone just got tired of it. And then when he's not performing, well, who do we look at? We're going to look at the player, not Brett Brown. And then everyone turned on Brett Brown.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he played 1 year in college and he averaged almost 20, 12, and 5. So, like, it wasn't like he was a scrub in college.
I think the whole thing was his competition, though, is when it got down to it. And again, I don't know it off the top of my head, but I'm just telling you what was said around here was the competition he had.
I mean, the SEC then wasn't what
it is now. Yeah.
They basically laid it up for him to get drafted number 1. But there's also plenty of picks that the Sixers had that we could have, we took Fultz instead of
Tatum.
Tatum, yeah. Which good for Tatum, man. It's really worked out for him. So
gonna kind of transition, completely different topic. But it's my second question. And I want to start with Mr. Eddie on this one. I think he can bring a really good answer for this one. But I want to get everybody's answer on this.
Why is Dustin laughing already?
Because of Casey. That's why I'm laughing in space.
Right.
So the question, I seen this on TikTok literally right when I sent it to you guys.
You know what TikTok is, Pops?
TikTok you in the head. Let him finish his question.
Who has the best running back room of all time? What NFL team has the best running back room?
The best running back room.
Now let me say, I don't mean all in the same year. I mean, if you were to take the 3 to 5 best running backs for this team or this team, who could produce the 3 to 5 best?
That's a good question.
I feel like I'm severely outnumbered here. This isn't fair.
Don't say Philly. Whatever you do, Sean, don't say Philly. Nobody cares about Westbrook and Sean McCoy. But they're not bad. That's not a bad room, but let's just be real.
On now, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I can't put Saquon there already.
You can't put Miles Sanders in.
All right. Let the old man speak.
Sorry.
Well,
in an hour.
Let's, I'm going to have to go back to probably the Raiders with Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen. You got two unbelievable, one really unbelievable player, played obviously baseball and football, but I'm sitting here trying to think of any team that had 2 guys that good during that time. And I'm thinking, if I have to pick the room.
He's talking the entire length of the.
I'm talking the entirety of their team. It doesn't have to be the same year. Like Steve,
okay, I get
Steve Mason said the Steelers.
All right, give them a few minutes to process, because this is the shit that happens on our shows. I got to explain the question 7 times.
Would you shut up, kid?
Oh my god!
You look like, I don't. Did anybody describe him as a Smurf yet? So be quiet, Papa Smurf.
That was one of your worst insults of all time. Do better.
Oh, I could come up with some better ones, but it's a family show.
Not anymore.
So running back room all time. That's really a good question. Because, well, yeah, you guys are going to say, well, you're a homer. But let's take the Cowboys had Tony Dorsett, Emmitt Smith. I guess that's really about it. So it's not going to be the Cowboys.
You freaking love Zeke. What are you talking about?
Zeke's 2 years were really good. I even had DeMarco Murray in that mix.
I'm looking at Hall of Famers. I think you're going to have to stick with what was said earlier. I think it's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I thought it was O'Hara and Jerome Bettis. That was my pick right off when I first seen it, without even sitting down thinking about anything.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here thinking about all the good running backs, but over a long period of time, it's the Steelers they were always known as a running team. So they always had that person on there. So
speaking of the Steelers, who was the running back after Jerome Bettis? I can't remember. I can't think of who off the top of my head.
Bell.
Yeah,
Le'Veon Bell. I mean,
that's three.
Jerome Bettis.
They've had a running back.
I mean,
Jerome Bettis was a fullback playing running back, and he was something else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we'll ever see another Jerome Bettis type player. He was literally fat, but could run a 4 whatever.
Well, he was like a bus. That's why they called him the bus.
I mean,
so
the Steelers have had a heck of a running back room over the years. I'm
going to throw one out there. I'm going to throw. I think it's the Cowboys, but I'm going to throw my number 1A. I'm going to go the Rams.
That's what I was thinking.
That's who I was going to say.
Eric Dickerson, Marshall Faulk, Steven Jackson, and don't forget Jerome Bettis started his career with the Rams as well.
And don't forget Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley as well.
That's a solid room.
Yeah, that's another good room there.
I think the Rams got something to say about it.
Agreed.
Yeah, Marshall Faulk is, man. Yeah. Yeah, Marshall Faulk was legit. I mean, Todd Gurley was too. You know, coming out of
he retired way too early. Or left, quit playing. Yeah. I think he's
injuries.
6 years.
Didn't he played? Yeah, and didn't he go to where did he went somewhere after the Rams? Wasn't it like Atlanta or something?
Atlanta. Like Yeah.
His career was cut short because of injuries. They piled up big time on him.
What do you think, Evan?
I had the Rams too.
Oh, you had the Rams as well. Okay.
I tried to squeeze my Broncos into there somehow, but we had a lot of good consistent years of running back. But as the running backs themselves, it kind of was a revolving
turnover.
Terrell Davis was a heck of a running back.
Yeah, I mean, Portis had some good years too, and we had
Portis
1,200-yard backs damn near every year, but it was a different back every year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, what'd you come up with?
I was going to say the Rams too, because I was looking at Marshall Faulk, Gurley, Jackson. I'm going to say McCutcheon, but that's not who I'm. It's not.
Casey's got a good one.
Go ahead.
Go for it, Casey.
Okay. Another unpopular opinion. Houston Oilers / Tennessee Titans. You got Earl Campbell. You got Chris Johnson, Eddie George.
Derrick Henry. Arian Foster.
I don't remember.
Isn't that more Texans?
No. It's a whole different franchise.
Yeah, Foster was a Texan though.
Yeah, Arian Foster.
Oh, wait, who'd you say? Oh, you said Oilers, Titans.
Well, that's because.
Yeah, okay. I thought you said Texans. My bad.
Texans.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Chris Johnson, Earl Campbell, and if there's any radio stations in the Houston area that would like to hire me, I'm just joking about the Texans. Chris Johnson, Earl Campbell, Eddie George, You also had Lindell White thrown in there, Travis Henry, DeMarco Murray, just some lesser ones in that room. So I think Titans have a decent case as well with the Rams and Cowboys and
yeah, you know, I do. I like that.
And I just ran the stats on what would AI tell us is the best teams, and it came out with the interesting. It had the Cowboys at the top. It's not going by names; it's going by stats, and they lead all teams in rushing yards by 114,323 yards and rushing touchdowns, 863 over 998 games. Second to them is the Raiders. Because like I said, the Raiders actually don't get talked about as far as being a rushing team, but they don't have necessarily the name.
Josh Jacobs, yeah. I didn't even think about Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs,
yeah.
They've had a couple.
Marcus Allen played for many years with the Raiders before. I think he moved on to the Chiefs after that. But it's the Raiders that come in at 109.5 yards a game, 109,496 yards, and 745 TDs over 1,000 games. Then it talks about the Chiefs. The Chiefs don't necessarily have a whole lot of yards, but over 1,000 games, they come in at 836 touchdowns, running touchdowns. So, and then the Patriots bring the back in on that.
I'm gonna throw a running back room out. Just two players. How about the Bears? Walter Payton and Gale Sayers.
They can play too.
I mean that's a pretty solid room as well.
Room,
yeah. I didn't even think. I wasn't even thinking about them. Nobody really ever thinks about the Bears. I mean, let's just be honest.
I did look.
I got to hear them about it a lot.
Yeah.
I was also trying to look up Cleveland with Jim Brown being the foundation of Cleveland, but didn't see much after that.
Jim Brown and Peyton Hillis.
Well, even Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb, yeah.
I'm going to say I do think it's got to be the Cowboys. I mean, if you go down this list, you got Emmett, Dorsett, Zeke, Don Perkins, Calvin Hill, DeMarco Murray, Marion Barber, Tony Pollard, Herschel Walker, Julius Jones.
Forgot about Herschel Walker in Dallas, and I loved Marion Barber. He was one of my favorite.
And then, well, we don't really have a running back now. So, but I think that's if you go down the list of 5, 6, 7, 8 deep, I think you're going to have a hard time beating the Cowboys room.
Yep.
Sorry, Sean, it's not a homer pick. I do like Shady McCoy. I do like Saquon Barkley as the top two for Philly.
Ricky Waters was good.
But after
I wasn't even
next
going to pick
running back is Randall Cunningham.
Yeah, I wasn't even going to pick the Eagles. So, do I put Jalen Hurts on the list as a running back too?
I mean, if I can have Roger Staub back.
Yeah, might as well. The tush push is a running play. Greatest play in NFL history.
If you're going to include running quarterbacks, then the conversation starts happening. All right, what teams have the best running quarterbacks? Well, now you got the Ravens with Lamar, Derrick Henry, Jamal Lewis.
You got the Vikings, Cunningham, and Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, AP is a top 5 running back for me of all time. So
yes, I agree.
No matter what.
I played against him in high school. Dude was a monster. Dude, freaking monster. So that was my two. That was my two questions. Like I said, they weren't bad. They were just input worthy, I thought.
All right. I don't know if some of y'all saw the question. I know I commented in the group text, but I kind of want to hear what everyone else is. What professional basketball player reminds you of your golf game right now? So, oh shit, we lost.
I pulled him down.
Yeah. So the professional golf game. So if everyone here plays golf, I know me and Pops do.
See, I don't play golf. So with that being said, I would say my golf game resembles that of Ben Simmons. Neither one of us plays. So I think that's where I would be at.
So if you didn't see the group chat, I said Luka, all right, a little bit out of shape. never playing any defense on the course and letting that motherfucker fly. All right, that's what I describe my golf game as.
I responded on a post, but not in the chat. I took Jordan Poole because when I'm out there, I feel like I'm the best ever do it. And some of it looks fantastic, but I'm really just winging it.
And then the course punches you in the mouth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Only once. That happened.
The Dennis Green punches you in the mouth.
Exactly.
The course is Draymond Green.
Yes.
What you got, old man? What current NBA player reminds you of your golf game?
I always hit straight, so I'm gonna go with Curry. I'm a straight shooter. Straight shooter.
Coming out swinging.
I'm very accurate and very straight.
What do you have no long ball, and that's what Curry is.
I ain't shooting threes in golf. You said consistency. You know he's going to shoot it straight. That's where I go.
Do you shimmy when you make a putt, Mr. Eddie? Do you do the little shimmy that Curry does?
Don't give them ideas. We play together.
Yeah, the little night. Yeah, you go. Yeah.
No, I just look at him and say, when I sink it, I look at Casey and say, "Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy?"
And you want to know? He doesn't get to say that very much because he loses all the damn time.
You know, if you really deep dive into that question, it could get really awkward on the golf course when you're asking your son that.
Yes,
it's a fact. He says it because he ain't got nothing else to say.
There's no comeback to that. There's just no comeback.
I was the strongest swimmer that made it. Yes, you're my dad. I came from your testicular area. It happened. It's a fact. Congratulations.
Well, obviously, I had blue balls today because
I didn't need to know
for some reason. So
what about you, Sean? Who was your golf game resembled?
So I can honestly say, and this is not just saying it because of where I am, but my golf game is Joel Embiid, because there's times I can go out and I can be the best person out there, and then there's other times I go out and I'm just non-existent. And I get out about half the time, just like he does. So really, that's the best way I could put it. Is there's times I'm even surprising myself, and then other times I'm just like, yep, now I've been knocked down 37 pegs. I'm back where I belong.
So if we were to get on a team together between us five, we don't even make the play-in tournament because we have a pretty sorry team.
Or back-to-back championships, because you got Curry, Jordan Poole, Luka, Embiid. Like, that's a kind of a
but then you got to put Ben Simmons in there.
What Ben Simmons
team is healthy.
Dustin, who is your NBA golf game resemble? So far, Mr. Eddie is listen, Mr. Curry. I'm Ben Simmons. Evan is Jordan Poole. Casey is Luka, and Sean is Embiid. Round out the top six of our basketball team.
Well, that's a good question because the last time I went golfing, I was plus 50. Okay. So I don't know how to do that. That was bad. I don't know if there was an NBA player that who had literally just could never make a basket.
Anthony
Dennis Rodman.
Angel Reese.
Angel Reese.
Reese.
I'm Angel Reese then. I'm the chick, I guess. I don't know.
There you go. Hey, so listen, it's completely sidetracked. I seen a thing today. Who was that guy for Toronto that was betting against himself?
That was Michael Porter Jr.'s brother, John.
Michael Porter Jr.'s brother. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. He was at like 47% trying to miss shots. Angel Reese is at 46% trying to make shots. That was the post put out there today. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
No, see, I can't be but if I'm Angel Reese, I can't play in the NBA. She wouldn't make it. She ain't making it in the WNBA. Well, I guess so. I mean, I can't make it on the golf course. So I mean,
there you go. So. There you go.
I've said this many times, and it's in our intro. It's one of my favorite segments. But we were talking about this supposed rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and here's the thing: to be a rivalry, you got to be on the same level. Like Magic Bird, we're on the same level.
Yeah.
You know, Jordan, Stockton, Malone were on the same level. Jordan and the Pistons. You know, and locally here in Texas, Dirk and the Spurs and the Mavs. You know, Dirk and Duncan. You know, name your rivalry. You're on the same level. Reese is not on that level. Like, she is relevant because of Caitlin Clark and because she did beat her in college with her team. I think she had a much superior team than Iowa that year, and they won it. And she made herself the villain, and then she's complained about being the villain since then. But, you know, I just Angel Reese, to me, it's becoming kind of a joke on, yeah, she leads the league in rebounding, but you know, how many of them are off her own missed shots? There was that, I think there was a video from the last game where she gets blocked 3 times in a row, gets the rebound off the block because that counts as a rebound. And misses the layup twice and gets that rebound. You got 5 offensive rebounds on 1 possession and still didn't score.
We talked about that on the show. Also, because like she had a decent rookie year too. Like she was in the conversation for rookie of the year had she not got hurt. And then even in the Unrivaled League, it seemed like she had kind of been in the lab and gotten her game a little better. It still looked weird. I've always thought she had like an awkward game. But then it seemed like a monster took her talent this year. And to your point, there was she's averaging 14.5 rebounds. 7.5 of those are offensive. So that's a lot of missing right at the rim, just missing bunnies. If you're getting 7.5 offensive boards a game. Like, so like,
hey, which Monstar is she?
It's a new one, man. Like I'm like, I don't know.
She's Sean Bradley's Monstar, the one that took Sean Bradley's powers. That's who she is.
Lady Monstars, Monsterettes or something.
Yeah.
I didn't see LeBron's version of Space Jam. I refuse to watch that. So
don't see it.
I'll tell you the problem that I have with the quote unquote rivalry. I don't like comparing players that don't play the same position.
They can't guard each other.
And that's the same as football. I used to hate when they'd say, "Oh, Sunday night, Manning versus Brady." No, it's not Manning versus Brady. They don't guard each other. They don't play against each other.
You just blew up your own argument, dude. They literally play the same position.
But they don't play each other.
No, you said that they don't play the same position.
But I'm saying she doesn't guard her. Reese does. I know what you're saying. I guess I should have worded it differently. I guess they don't guard each other. I'm gonna put it that way.
Well, that's because Angel Reese can't guard her, and I don't think Caitlin Clark can really guard her down low either. You know,
right.
As a coach, you play to your matchups. You know,
I did like Kelsey Plum hitting her with that too small celebration today. Yeah, Kelsey Plum put it on Angel Reese.
We should have the WNBA All Stars. Do they even do that? I don't even know if that's a thing.
Yeah,
do they do an All Star thing?
They do.
All right, so instead of playing the All Star game, let's have a 1v1 against Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and let's just settle it.
Well, their All Star game is better than the NBA All Star game, though. I don't want to fuck with theirs. Like they did.
Theirs is good.
This year. Like there's a good All Star weekend. Like I don't want to mess with that.
I don't know how they figure it out, but we need to have a 1v1 with them. If they want to get some viewership, do it.
Just put them in a ring. I'd rather see him.
Hey, speaking of Caitlin Clark, y'all see she's hurt out 2 weeks.
Yep. So bet you there's a lot of people selling those tickets.
I'm going to say,
Des Moines, you know everything that happens with Caitlin Clark around here.
Oh, that's right. You are in Iowa. That's right. Your brother's the one in Denver, right?
Yep. Yeah, he's in Denver. I'm here in Iowa.
Evan, I got a question for you. Since you're in Iowa, you live there. By the way, my mom was born in Cedar Rapids. So was my grandfather. So a little connection to Iowa. But I want your opinion on this because I've argued this when it comes to Caitlin Clark and the WNBA is the law of diminishing returns and when it comes to experiencing things. And so, like, take it for instance, you ride a roller coaster the first time, it's incredible. And the next time you ride it, it's pretty awesome, but it's not the same as the first time. Take it in another realm, it's like a crack addict's first high. They're always chasing that first high, right? So, you know, do you see the law of diminishing returns going to happen with Caitlin Clark in the WNBA?
I don't. Maybe from a global perspective or from a national perspective, possibly, but just the way. And I know there'd be more expansion in the WNBA, but the way the Midwest as a whole rides with Caitlin Clark, and there's no teams in Nebraska, there's not a team in Iowa, so all these teams, and it takes, it's like a little 8-hour drive. It takes me just as much to get to Denver as it would take me to get to Indiana. So for them to travel to go see a Caitlin game, and that's the reason they're packing those arenas like that, is because her fans move. They will go see her. And when Chicago ain't far for us, there's a lot of games we can get to right here just to go see her. That's why the ticket prices go crazy when she's on the road, because we can get to a lot of games just from here for the W2.
So for instance, like last year I was interested in seeing how she was going to start out the season, and that stuff. I haven't watched one game yet. I catch the highlights.
Right.
Like I don't have the same interest.
I think it'll fall off from those, like that one, the hype kind of falls off, like you're saying, and a lot of it, you're not real basketball fans. A lot of those are just on it for this Caitlin Clark ride, but a lot of it is Iowa because there's no pro team out here. So the Indiana Fever is our pro team out here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like they're going to just ride for her regardless. So it'll stay up there, but it won't be as new and as shiny as it was, especially last season.
And I guess a follow-up question, and you guys hop in on either of these two questions. Everyone is, but a follow-up for you, EB, is: do you think there's an exuberant amount on Caitlin Clark to perform every night because of, it's kind of the Jordan thing, it's kind of the Kobe thing, and those guys always had the opinion of, I'm going to play every night, and because I remember Jordan saying in one of his documentaries that it may be someone's only time to see me play and pressure for me to perform. Yeah. But is there league pressure around every arena she goes to in every game to perform and throw up long bombs and be this kind of larger in life basketball player?
I think so. And it's unfair to an extent, but that's what they brought in with her when she came into the WNBA. But there's so much talent in the league now, and it's going to continue growing. You look at, we got another year or two till we get Juju in the W, and that's going to be a whole nother, what should be another groundswell, because she's incredible. So hopefully what starts with Caitlin Clark doesn't end with Caitlin Clark. And if these are real basketball fans or people that have become fans because of Caitlin Clark, and I said it on our show a long time ago, if you come for Caitlin Clark, stick around for the basketball, because there's good hoop here. So there's going to be a dip for sure, but hopefully there's enough eyes on it now to see that you can actually enjoy this game too.
Absolutely. So me and my boss talked about that kind of 2 years ago. I knew some, like I knew Kelsey Plum, I knew, Asia Wilson. I knew some, but I didn't pay. I'm like Casey, I caught the highlights, ESPN, or I looked on my phone or something like that. But like me and my boss, hey, who plays tonight? Oh, the Fever play at 8. All right, cool. We're gonna watch that. Oh, the Spark play at 7 o'clock on TNT. Yeah, we're gonna watch that too. Like I'm actually finding myself watching these games now more than I did. Even though I knew the players and I knew kind of where they were from and what they were about, but now I'm more tuned into it. Not as much as the NBA, not as much as I like watching college girls and boys. I like the college side of it a whole lot better. But I do find myself tuning in more.
If someone else jump in, I actually have a third question for you.
Go ahead.
It's like, because you're in Iowa, I kind of like the perspective. So, last year, and I think it's still there, I think there's an underlying thing right here, man, of a lot of people want to say, the racial component of this, right? Well, Sue Bird was white. Lobo was white back in the day. Diana Taurasi was white. Paige Becker's the number 1 pick in Dallas is white.
Becky Hammond.
Brianna Stewart.
Becky. Yep.
So what? I'm not ignoring the racial element, because that is a part of it. But what separates Caitlin Clark, in your opinion, what you saw in the Iowa area, you saw her play for 4 years, what makes her different than these other girls that came in that, to me, Taurasi is the greatest player in WNBA history. But, like, I wasn't, as I was last year. And I think most of us, Derek just talked about he's catching these games, kind of knowing, like, what has separated her from other great players coming out?
I really can't answer that, because for me, there shouldn't be a reason why everybody's just catching on to women's basketball, because sure, there's a racial element to it, but that's per person, honestly. If you ask me, like that's to each and every different person. To me, you mentioned all those other players, but even with like a Maya Moore, I felt like that was a time where women's basketball should have blown up. With Candace Parker, there was a time where women's basketball should have gone crazy for players like this. Even with what they did at UConn for years and years and years and years and years, that should have grown the W. I think it, as much as anything, it was just time. Like it was time, and people are ready to digest the sport, I guess. Like the NBA wasn't the NBA, and you look at the early 70s before Larry and Magic got there. We're still looking at tape delay, and this is the point that the WNBA is in right now. And that's why so many people wanted this to be the Larry and Magic with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, is because now they can turn this new leaf over and start to grow and get their Michael Jordan and get these endorsement deals and become this league that we don't have to wonder if they're going to be around next year. So to answer your question, I don't know why it changed, but like it other than just a timing thing, I guess.
Something else I think is big now, which I think we can all agree is social media. It wasn't social media back when it was. You can even just go back 10 years ago. I won't even go back but just 10 years ago, social media wasn't what it was now. I mean, you can get on social media right now and you can see something about any sport of some kind.
Yeah, it's more accessible. So, absolutely.
It is. I mean, and you can even go as far as like YouTube. YouTube, what it was 10 years ago. You can go on there and watch anything with anybody on YouTube now. So I think that has also evolved the sporting world more than what it just was. Like, when you wanted to watch the WNBA, if you weren't locally, you weren't watching it. Like, it was hard to catch a game because it wasn't on.
Popping on Lifetime and catching some old games back then.
That's what I'm saying. You had to go to Lifetime to watch a game versus now you can catch on ESPN, TNT, Prime Video, whatever they play it on now.
I think we're kind of drifting. What the point I was trying to make is, or the question is, like, if we all took a vote, who, probably 4 out of the 5 here would have an actual vote. But who is the best player in the league right now in the WNBA? We would all say A'ja Wilson. Like, she's the best player. I don't know anything about A'ja Wilson other than she's a good player in Las Vegas. So there's something about Caitlin Clark. Is it just because she was the first women's version of Steph Curry in a way? And Steph Curry revolutionized the NBA, and it was the first time we had seen it. Even though, like, people like Sabrina Ionescu can put the ball in the bucket at a better rate. She's a sharpshooter in New York. Like, I've just been kind of curious about this phenomenon over the last couple of years of people have gravitated towards Caitlin Clark and her game, which isn't necessarily efficient. I actually think she's a better passer than she is a shooter. And so it's just an interesting question in my mind. And just, the fact that someone from Iowa can't really put their thumb on it.
Not from.
No, my bad. In the Iowa environment. I apologize.
Thank you.
And immersed in it. So it's an interesting question. I think that obviously we're all excited to see.
Well, if you break the question down like that, honestly, when a place like Iowa has somebody that they can push for like that is white, that is in front of that's what pushed Caitlin Clark. But to me, why this was the time for women's basketball, I don't get why that's the reason. But yeah, sure, it has damn near everything to do with race. If that was because she's there, she's marketable, she is an Iowan. Have this now, she's in Indiana. You can spoon feed that to anybody and make it marketable. Even though on the court, she's not that person. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's what they can
arenas in California, New York, and Florida, and everywhere the team goes. Last year, they bumped them up to the big arenas. And so I think it's a really interesting dynamic that, as sports content people that we are, gives us interesting topics as we get to follow her career. I don't think before Caitlin Clark per se it was a topic on our shows. Unless you were just deep diving into basketball everything. And so I think I think her career and the trajectory and what the WNBA does while she's in the league, as well as what they do after she retires. And if there's another one that comes along. So, but all right,
I'm done. I mean, I think a little bit too behind it is obviously there was a lot of hype with her coming in. And everyone was always worried, what is she going to do in the WNBA? Like, is it going to continue? Or was it just a stint in Iowa where it was her and, that Martin girl that was there with her? Like, that was the only two that I ever hear from there, and mainly Caitlin Clark. And I think there's this expectation that she's going to carry the league to the highest it's ever been. And people want it to succeed. And I think we need more of, like, there's a lot of players in the WNBA that don't get the recognition they should. Look at Collier out of Minnesota. Look what she's doing. I mean, she did it last year. She's just as good. So it's just one of those things where the hype coming in was probably the most you've ever seen out of a player in a very long time. And they're just wanting to see where it goes. And when you're selling out all these arenas, and like you said, they went from these small arenas, now they're selling out these big arenas, and like, can the WNBA continue to do what they're doing? And she's at the height of it. It's Caitlin Clark and almost everybody else. But look at Breonna Stewart. Why ain't she getting all that love? Look what she's done since she came in. The hype just wasn't there.
And they are doing a better job, and they have to continue to, of just not making it just about Caitlin Clark. Like, sure, she's pushed it, but to now push an Angel Reese or even an Angel Reese a little more, you get to see more of Asia Wilson or all these women with shoe deals now. Breonna Stewart got shoes, and you get to see them more. But they're not just making it about her. So luckily, they're letting you see a lot of the women in the game.
And I love the WNBA now. I mean, I agree with, like Derek is saying, I want to pay attention a little bit more now.
Actually, let me ask Evan, you're, being there in Iowa, we know in our parts of the country, does it seem like the WNBA is more hyped? I mean, as far as the people who are watching it there, because it's still something, like I'll say in Texas, it's not something that it's kind of there, it's kind of not.
Oh, here it's definitely still like appointment television, just like anything. Hawkeyes and Caitlin Clark still like catch the fever. That's why they're so crazily televised, because the Midwest would go crazy if we couldn't see her out here. So like it's definitely still like appointment TV. They're going to the bars, they're getting their Busch Lights. They're still watching. They're watching in the fever.
Busch Light? Wait, what? Who drinks that?
It was very. I'm Iowa. Iowa is the number one.
Really,
dog.
What?
Number one consumer of Busch Light right here.
I'm glad I live in Texas.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I've never had it, but
hey, by the way, the whiskey of the week is Buffalo Trace.
It was a good whiskey.
That's what's in the cup.
I dig it.
Hey, we out of school. I can let loose now. Last day of school was Friday.
Oh, congrats! Right. Nice.
Yes, it's nice, and it's a little Buffalo Trace. I'm pre-gaming for the wedding this weekend.
That's right. That's this weekend.
Yeah, that's a Saturday, homie.
He avoids the bush, just so y'all know.
How does how you feeling about getting married?
I mean, it ain't like I hadn't done it before.
Where's the honeymoon at?
We're gonna be in Europe for 2 weeks.
Oh my!
Yeah, we're taking a cruise around the Greece Isles, and then we're gonna come back through Paris and London. We went big. We could go a little bigger since, I ended up getting a little bit of a hookup on the cruise. But
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we it's gonna be a good time. It'll be a good time.
That's awesome, man. Well, congrats on that.
I'll be able to make the show Thursday night. I don't know. I may be picking up my little brother from the airport. So the old man may be solo Thursday night. So
no, solo Eddie.
Yeah, he's never done a
there
solo.
There may be some interesting characters that show up.
Oh my god!
The bad thing about that case, if he's solo, he can say whatever he wants to, and you can't do nothing about it.
I will be tuning in.
He can say what he wants. We all know who the MVP is. Okay, all right, it's me. All right, I want to say me for me.
The most volatile person? Yeah, I will agree. Most volatile person? Yeah, that would be the Papa Smurf right there.
Listen,
So.
We got 2 new shows, but I'm just saying there's only one person on this network who has been on location in different venues and still logged into a show to say hello. So,
he's co-MVP. Remember, he ended the live. We still got to hit him for that.
Folks have forgot about that. I did actually end the show.
You know, I worked so many years on trying to teach him humbleness, and it is still not taking effect.
Listen, you said 4 sentences in an hour and a half. One of us has got to do something around here.
Well, while Sean's still on, come right here at the end. I've been seeing a lot of Bryce Harper trade talk, and I wanted to get your opinion on that because I keep seeing one team mentioned, and it is Pittsburgh. What is the whole hype on this?
Nothing. That'll never happen.
For the Phillies side or the Pirates side?
On the Phillies side, it would make sense for the Pirates to trade Paul Skeens now and just stop making their fan base suffer. And just that's why they signed, I think, Brian Reynolds cheap. That's why they signed Brian Hayes a few years ago cheap. Don't torture your fan base anymore. But no, I don't think any of that is true at all. I mean, he signed here for another 7 years, I think. And it's like, I know a lot of people, especially around here, are getting on Harper for having a down year. And I did it the other day where I compared his stats to last year, this time to where he's at now. And his batting average is down a little bit, but he's pretty much right where he was. And then if you look at his MVP season a few years ago, he is exactly where he was when he won the MVP. I will probably get shot at some point for saying this. I don't necessarily agree that he should have won the MVP over Soto the year he won it, his first year here. But no, him getting traded to of all places, Pittsburgh. I could be mad at you, but I ain't going to do that to you. Good Lord.
I seen a stat that Paul Skeen, I think he's at like 39 starts, I think, or 37 starts, something like that, and he's gave up 47 runs, and they're under 500 with those stats. Like almost a little over like 1.7 runs a game is what he's averaging, and they're losing.
Yeah, the amount of run support he's getting, and again, it's the same thing this year. Like they're just, and then I think one thing that really was kind of surprising to me was when they fired their coach. And they interviewed him about it, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not surprised." And I'm like, "I don't know, dude. It's your second year in the league. I don't know if you can be coming out saying, yeah, I'm not surprised." Like, and he kind of took a step back and was just like, someone's got to take the fall, and it really sucks. It's always the coach, and no matter what league you're in, the coach is the one that takes the fall, not the players.
Right.
My brother always says it too, and he was just like, "Man, I really wish the coach had a better batting average or a better ERA or better stats in general." And I'm like, "I know, man, it's terrible, but it's."
Do you think those talks are about because, like, where Bryce Harper is? I mean, obviously the Phillies are in a great position. They started off not the best. Well, they started off good, then they just went on a slump for. We saw you post it. I mean, we know, and now they've just hit it all. They're on fire right now. Do you think that they're thinking like maybe we see what we can get in return?
No,
because
it would make zero sense. I mean, because you signed him to be the face of the team, you signed him to bring other people here, which he has since. I mean, every single year, I think maybe except the last year or two, because we have a whole entire lineup. But I mean, him coming here, you then traded for JT Realmuto. You signed him to an extension that unfortunately is now killing you. Kyle Schwarber came here right after. A few days later, we got Nick Castellanos. You've gotten pitching. You have set up a whole entire team around Bryce Harper. It would make no sense for him, for everything that he has done for the team, city, organization, to get people to come here. I mean, I've been to opening day every year for, since we were garbage. It is a completely different atmosphere since he has come here, to where if you really want to have the fan base turn on you, unless you're literally just dumping the team and you're saying this is the only way that we can start over. But at the same time, you're not going to be able to. You're going to have to eat so much money to get rid of him, and especially to the Pirates. They don't pay anybody, so it would equally make no sense why they would take on a contract like that. But you're dumping Trey Turner at that point. It's because you have him longer than you have Harper at this here. You have him for like 2 more years longer than Harper. Again, that's bad contracts. You sign somebody who can steal 40, 50 bags and he doesn't steal anymore, and you're going to have him until he's like 42. So
I want to address this rumor mill. All right, this is my issue. I think Dustin mentioned it earlier. Loyalty in sports is no longer a thing. Man, didn't the Phillies win a series with Bryce Harper?
No.
No, they have not.
We made it and lost to the Astros.
The cheating Stros. Yeah, so y'all really do have a ring. It's just not official.
The Nationals won it the year after Bryce Harper got traded.
The year Harper left.
Okay.
Or he left, yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to be honest. That kind of hurts my argument a little bit. But you mentioned he's face of the franchise, MVP, incredible player. Unless he asks, I don't think you trade him.
No, I 100% agree. And to tie into your comment about loyalty, I mean, his whole entire they did a documentary. It's like an hour long. You could find it probably on YouTube and it's literally called Signing Harper. And it's literally how the GM at the time, Scott Boras, his agent, they pretty much went around him because he was screwing everything up. Harper, it's a whole entire thing where the president of the team flew down to him, talked to him, and then within like a day it was done. Like, he specifically said he did not want to go anywhere else, that he wanted to stay with one team the rest of his career. He didn't want to have to worry about being traded. He didn't have to worry about anything else. He wanted to go to a team and retire, and that's it.
Does he have a no trade clause, by the way?
Yeah.
He does?
Yeah.
Interesting. Scott Boras is a douche canoe. I'm just going to say
100%. He is one of the worst people in sports. The best part about, and I think it's starting to catch up to him a little bit, is Jordan Montgomery, who signed with the Diamondbacks last year, who was awful. And that's putting
great
it
for the Rangers in the World Series. Right?
Yes, he was. But apparently, so Boras was his client and he wanted to go to the Red Sox. Apparently the Red Sox wanted him, and Boras held that information away from him and never told him. And that came out, and then he ended up, the Red Sox passed, or moved on. He signed with the Diamondbacks and was awful. He ended up firing Boras because it came out that he said that we need to wait because all these Boras clients are signing 2-3 weeks before the season starts, and then they're not even ready by opening day. And I think that's going to really start catching up to him.
Gotcha.
Because the Phillies have a starting pitcher who's going to be a free agent, who Boras is his client. I mean, everybody here is just assuming he's going to walk because he's going to ask for a max contract. He doesn't deserve it. And
by the way, that's a great list we should do for the next network show. Biggest douche canoes in sports.
I love it. Let's do it.
I think that's a good one.
We're going to have to start earlier because that's going to be a long episode.
Top three big douche canoes. Top 3.
I want to throw this question out, and I guess I kind of inadvertently took over the MC duties from Dustin and Derek.
No, you're good.
No.
We discussed this on the show. and I don't know if my pop's opinion has changed at all, but what do y'all think about Shoeless Joe Jackson and Pete Rose being in the Hall of Fame?
Love it. I hate that I hate Pete Rose isn't here for it. He even called it. He said he'll be gone by the time he gets to be in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, that's the new what it is now is if you die, then you get in.
Yeah, I hate the way that each league does the Hall of Fames. And one of the main reasons that I hate it is I hate that we didn't get Duncan, Garnett, and Kobe's. I hate that we didn't get those three together to have their induction together, to have their speeches together, because you have to wait 12 years or whatever it is. I mean, if I'm retiring tomorrow, I shouldn't have to wait 5-6 years. Like, if I'm Kobe, I'm going to be in. You know I'm going to be in. I know I'm going to be in. Everybody knows I'm in. Let's do it next year. Let's put me in and be done with. Now, those ones that are on the border, yeah, let's take some time and vote on them and try to figure them out. But those surefire guys, freaking put them in.
What about the players that come back? Like,
once you're done, you're done. Once the papers are filed, don't let them come back.
Like Tom Brady retired, unretired.
Don't let them come back.
Retired.
Jordan twice.
Dwight Howard's about to go into the Hall of Fame and is still trying to get signed to a team for next season.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, there has to be stipulations for it all. But once you retire, you retire. Like, I can understand if you want to take a break. Like, did Jordan file paperwork to quote unquote retire, or did he just take a break? Did he just say, "I'm not playing this year. I'm going to play baseball"?
But he had to file paperwork like 3 different times because then he left again and came back as a Wizard.
But did he file the paperwork? That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
I thought the whole rumor with Jordan was that he left because they
didn't want to suspend him for the whole year.
They didn't want to suspend him. Yeah, so he went and played.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? I mean, you don't know.
Yeah, I agree though. Like, I think when you saying you're retiring, like when you just say it, is different than like putting it on paper. I think that's something that I understand. Like Dwight, you know, he's saying like, I'm going to retire, but I'm also looking to get signed. No, you're not retiring then. Like, once you retire. Like, you need to know you're done. That should give you the potential go ahead to go in. Like, if you say you retire and then 2 years later you come back, you didn't retire. You took a break. Like, that's where I agree with Derek. Like, there's got to be something there to, like, when you retire, I need to sign it and stamp it, and when I put that on paper, I'm done.
Well, then I think you're going to have a ton of players for years not actually file paperwork, I guess you could say. But when they come back, their clock starts over. Like, that's the rule in every league. Yeah. So it's not like, you know, very rarely do you have someone, let's take, for instance, EB saying Dwight Howard, he's going to be eligible for the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. I think he's a Hall of Famer for sure. You know, if he resigns before that announcement happens, his clock starts over. So as far as, I think it's 4 or 5 years out of the league. But as far as the two I was talking about, you know, Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson, obviously Shoeless Joe throwing the 1919 World Series. I kind of went over the circumstances of players played under back then and how the circumstances made it very easily for these players. If you offered them a little bit of money, it ain't like they're making the money players make anywhere near today. Then obviously Pete Rose betting on his team to win. I don't think there's any evidence of him betting on them to lose. You know, so, and with, you know, my dad made the point of saying, you know, all the major sports are in bed with gambling now. So does that null and void
staple all over every stadium?
Right. And so does that null and void? Should Pete Rose, the hit king, and Shoeless Joe Jackson, one of the best players, you know, in the early 20th century, be in the Hall of Fame?
I think so too. I agree. Just like you said, they didn't make it difficult for you to want to make a little bit extra money on the side when you got to throw games and things like that. And with as prevalent as gambling is now in every sport, everything. You might as well just let them both in, and a lifetime ban obviously ends when you die anyway. So,
well, that's what Manfred said about Pete Rose is a lifetime ban. So it sucks that he won't get to experience it if he does get in. But I made the point of like, I mean, shit, Barry should be in, Clemens should be in. You can't tell the story of the sport without those guys.
Yeah, right, 100%.
You know,
and again, especially my thing is that Bud Selig knew that steroids were in baseball. It helped bring baseball back, and you're punishing them for you allowing it.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
Manfred is on my list of, as you put it, douche canoes.
I think he was better in Selig. I'll say that.
Or Selig. I'm sorry. I said because we were talking about both. No, Selig is. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
Well, does anybody have anything else they want to pop in or questions or anything? Got the game coming down, 5-point game with 7 to go.
It's a better game than it has been in the last 3.
Yeah, I got 107-100 right now with 6:58 left.
Thunder?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm at
What's this merch in your background, EB?
That's actually this is my brand. It's in my bag apparel. It's actually fitting for the playoffs. And we talked to Caitlin Clark earlier. This one I'm actually releasing this week is our Caitlin Clark character. So we take Mortal Kombat, obviously, with our Mamba Combat collection, and basketball, and kind of mix the two worlds together and bring like these playable characters to each piece. So this is one of the latest ones. Is that Caitlin Clark? I don't know if you can see with the camera. Got the hawk on the chest.
I like it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Show him that Luka one.
I will. I got you. It was weird because I was doing the.
He's got a Ben Simmons one. Ben Simmons plays Professor X in the wheelchair.
Makes no sense.
And then so we did, and I give him like different names and shit because I'm not trying to get sued. I don't have that much money. So the Caitlin Clark one was a Fever Hawk, which just made it real easy. And the Luka one is a Mlada Koza, which is a young goat in Slovenian.
Okay.
And then that's the Luka joint.
Solid.
Yeah, that's
so sick.
I've been wondering what those are like for the last almost 2 hours. So
yeah, he's gonna get us the Wemby one made.
Yeah, we're gonna do the Wemby. I already got LeBron and Steph Curry done as well, and then we do a. Actually, this is one of my favorite ones. This is the Kobe piece we did, the tribute to the 2008 Olympics when he runs through Paul Gasol.
Oh, that's one of my favorite moments ever.
And then you see the Olympic rings coming out of him like a Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, on the old school TV.
Yeah, with the VCR and everything.
I don't know if any of y'all played 2K25.
I do.
One of the coolest things they've done in a long time of that game is the eras piece of it.
Agreed.
And like if you play like the 90s era, now I take it off because it's annoying, but they have like the old school filter on the screen. Like that, like I think they did. It's been a while since I've had a 2K game, and I just felt like getting one. Like, dude, that's been solid. And I know not every player's in the game. Like the Pacers from the 90s are missing Reggie, but I think they did a great job on like the rosters and I don't know if y'all experienced this, but if you play in the 90s era versus the Kobe era, starting I think in 2001, like the gameplay is different, how they score and like how they guard, like and how they guard pick and rolls. Like if you start playing in that 2001 Steph, LeBron, Kobe era, and you go back and play the 90s era, you're gonna have trouble scoring. It takes a while to get used to it. I thought they did a solid job on that.
Agreed. 2K is the one that I get every year.
Yep, I used to until it got stale, and then this year I was like, let me try it out again. So I did, and I really liked it. It was a good game this year.
And then I created my own team called the Texas Stars, based out of Fort Worth. So
Out of Fort Worth.
Yeah, it's red, white, and blue. It's very similar to the Rangers font. Let's just say that. But it's, I always like making myself. So yeah.
I do the same thing. I play my career a lot. That's like my go-to mode.
I didn't do my career. I just create me as a 99 overall.
You're killing it. Yeah.
I've done the my player and the career, like where you go to the courts and all that stuff. I just want to win championships. So
back in the day when I was like really into it, it was me and my brother, and then we had 3 brothers from Kentucky. We were trying to play on we were trying to do like professional pro-am teams, and then it just never went through. But we were like, we would have like practices. Like we literally had scheduled practices. We get on and like play together, and like it was pretty fun for a while. And then me and my brother wanted to do it, and they were kind of like not want to do it anymore. But I used to love doing that a lot. I used to love doing that, creating my career, getting up to 99, and just go play pro-am games against some of the best. And it was a lot of fun, but I ain't done that in a very, very long time.
So I know me and the Pops, last year we were super excited. We played, I don't know how many seasons with my little brother of the college football 25.
Mm.
And then he took A&M, I took Miami, and I forgot who Dallas or who Joey took. But then we decided to go reset, and we all took like a super small school, and we were going to build them up, and that didn't come to fruition. I got tired of getting my ass whooped every week by the computer.
I think I'm in year 11.
That's all I did was whine. My team, I can't throw the ball. Well, it's a crappy ass team. What do you
Hey, you're number one, buddy. You're number one. You're number one.
I have a bent finger, and my number one's better than your number one. See,
it looks like a question mark.
Is this why you separated them? Is this why?
Yes,
it just popped up like this.
We have to separate them if we can.
Hey, I'm just telling you, no offense to all the other shows on the network, but I feel like we're the most entertaining show on the internet. I say it every
time. I said, there goes that humbleness again. There goes that stuff. Humbleness.
Part of that equation is I'm trying to give you credit. Is you're half of it, even though you put in 10% effort on it. Is like you're part of the equation. Like, hey, I got to give.
It shows you how good I am. I only have to put in 10% effort to equal you. So there you go.
Jerk. But
5 minutes to go. 3-point game.
I'm going to say this on the fly. That Bill Belichick interview was not planned. He just comes out and goes, "I got Bill Belichick here," and EB, if you ain't seen the show, like we do characters, he pulls out Bill Belichick just out of the blue, and I'm like, oh, okay, like this is kind of crazy. We ain't talked about that one. We talked about maybe doing a rival NFC East coach on the show, but as well. But I'm can't wait to. It probably won't be for a little while, but can't wait to bring back Coach J. Kidd. Probably have to do that after the draft.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
we will. Good having everybody on. It's always fun. Missing a couple people, but hopefully next month everybody will be here. Like I said, one was in Mexico. One was had a family emergency pop up. Missing half of the sorry in advance guys, but missing Evan's brother.
You're missing 66% of the sorry in advance guys.
We are, but no. Well, there's only 10. We're only missing 40%.
There's 3 of them in there. Didn't you say?
Technically, there's.
Oh well, yeah, but but he's not here yet. He doesn't start for I think next week after. I'm just saying who we have now.
Yeah.
But all right. If nobody got anything else, fellas, it was fun. Check out everybody's show this week. Sorry in advance tomorrow. Me and Dustin back on Wednesday. On time on Thursday, and then golf on Friday.
Look forward to it.
All right. Later, fellas.
Peace.
Later.